Honour your free will and choose your highest timeline. Welcome to this week's World Affairs Report number 20. I'm Helen Jane Rose, and this will be the last report known as the World Affairs Truth Report, but we will be continuing, as will be explained in a moment. I will be joined by my lovely partner Jed, who will be unpacking the reports as usual. Okay, so I'm just going to, as I always do, I'm just going to read the report out verbatim that I wrote earlier through automatic writing. And then, as I said, then Jed will be joining me to unpack the messages that we've received. Okay, so on to this week's report. Welcome, beautiful souls, to this week's World Affairs Truth Report number 20. This will be the penultimate week of referring to our reports as truth reports before switching to the Peace Diaries. The Peace Diaries will follow a new format, the pursuit of uncovering inner peace from within you, if you would like to. We come as a reminder that free will is very activated within you. Yet this is also a conundrum, if you like, as your guides are always trying to assist you to follow the highest path for you. So often the way we think about free will isn't actually how it works. Imagine, if you like, that you have 5 timelines that you could choose from. All in one or another come close to you becoming the highest version of yourself. Yet 4 could be viewed as keeping you stuck within the confines of the beliefs and patterns that you are trying to break free from. The other sees you releasing yourself from them. Every day is an opportunity to break yourself free, and you will constantly be being offered ways to do this. So you see, there isn't really a wrong way for your free will to work for you, only that you will be letting yourself down from stepping into the highest timeline possible for you. And that's what we'd like to help you to do, to becoming the best version of you, cultivating a life full of peaceful yet joyful situations for you. Peace within to create peace without. Being a way shower of how life can be. Overcoming your own obstacles to becoming a beacon of light for others. Some in big, bold ways, and others in a much more sublime, discreet way. Whether in the forefront or behind the scenes, mission inner peace is an important one. For one to become dedicated to the pursuit of inner peace is a mighty purpose indeed. Yet to the ego it feels thankless as we look less and less to drama and more to an inner state of balance. Any form of external drama fuels the mind's hold over your inner state as you attempt to move from chaos into calm. Yet interestingly, sometimes situations that at first you feel are so chaotic to your mind, events that have unfolded in your life that caught you by surprise and felt very chaotic, can ultimately bring you to a state of inner calm. A conundrum perhaps, but nevertheless true. And this is why we encourage you to try not to judge any situation as right or wrong, good or bad. We know this is very hard for your mind to do. Yet from the soul's perspective, it's a revolutionary way of looking at life through a completely different lens. Some of the most chaotic situations you have found yourselves in have ultimately brought you the most inner calm on the other side of them. Feel into this for a moment. Your greatest transformations, your greatest times of inner alchemy have actually occurred in times of your greatest chaos, where your mind couldn't fathom how the outcome would turn out for you, where life perhaps seemed unsurmountable. And then as time went on and you healed from the pain and came through the heartache, if you like, something shifted and a new day was dawned. If you stayed feeling a victim and not able to transcend what occurred for you, the gold would not be able to occur for you, for you would be locked into the why did this happen to me? Yet true inner alchemy says, I may not understand why something happened like it did, yet I know deep within me that I have shifted as a result of it. And for that, I am grateful. I know that I am now closer to the true me. And that's where your free will lies, how you respond to everything in your life. This is where we will leave you this week and say, keep choosing you. Keep choosing what you know in your heart to be true for you. And as we would love to encourage you, keep choosing the highest timeline possible to you, that of the internal experience of peace within you. We love you, the DC. Okay, so I'm just going to see if anything else wants to come through me today. Maybe an additional message or meditation, I don't know. But I'm just going to close my eyes for a minute and tune in and just see. Okay, so I'm being told to open my eyes. I'm just opening my eyes. Okay, I'm just being told to say, remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. This is an activation. A short activation. And we are going to keep repeating the phrase, remember who you are. Remember who you are. There is a richness to you. You are multi-dimensional. There is so much more to you than you remember in this moment. You would not be here receiving this information and at either a conscious or subconscious level, remembering your agreement to become more of who you really are in this lifetime, to activate the gifts that lie dormant within some of you, and for others to allow those gifts to really start to shine through for you. For your light is needed. And the more who start to truly remember who they are, so as one light strengthens, it acts as a as a catalyst for others too. Remember who you are. If this resonates, start to ask the question, who am I? This is where we leave you today. As we cross timelines, if you like, as we help to activate the highest timelines from within you. And timelines is just a label, just a word that we use to help you differentiate and to remember and activate within you that these are possibilities for you. And we love you. My eyes are like watering. It's so interesting. Like this has happened a few times now. When I keep my eyes open, everything just blurs. I mean, I'm sure somebody would have a much more, what's the word, spiritual explanation for that, or a more eloquent way. But all I can describe it as, everything just goes completely blurry. So anyway, so I am going to now shuffle over, and Jed is going to come and talk through the report for you. Okay.
Wow. Thank you once again, Helen and the DC. What a beautiful meditation. I always feel like an activation is kind of a free gift. I don't know why I think that, but it always feels like, a little Brucey bonus and something usually unexpected. And wait and see how that unfolds. So the phrase "remember who you are" has been quite prevalent in my life, and was certainly something that kick-started my journey when it was wrote in a book to me many years ago. I didn't actually understand what it meant, and still sort of wrestling with it because it's such a rich statement. And I guess if you're new to this, the idea of remembering who you are is just very subjective, at least, comment, and something that's, you can't even wrestle with it, or what do you do with it? So for me, the way towards it is remembering, or recognizing rather, who you're not. And you're not anything that you think you are. Anything. So, we're coded in our DNA to look the way we do, sound the way we do. We're born into a family of origin. Sometimes that's your own, sometimes that's someone else's. And all of those things conspire to produce what you look at in the mirror and listen to yourself. And we're none of that. That's all experiential. And so what their DC are, hopefully activating within us now, is sparking that memory of remembering that we're not that. And the more and more you clear the things that you're not, the more space opens up for the truth of you to come in. So you don't actually have to remember who you are. It will be shown to you by behaving in different ways, feeling different things, and seeing different things. And so it's not such a monumental task as you might think, or an impossible task. It's something that's very doable if you become self-aware. So thank you for that. That was really a nice way to start the unpacking. So yeah, as Helen said, this is the last of our World Affairs Truth Reports. It was told to us a few weeks ago, I told to Helen, and there's a new offering coming which is leading towards what was a subheading in the Coming Times book, which was a pathway to peace. It feels much more aligned for both of us. Maybe that's why they're doing it, or maybe the World Affairs Truth Report was a necessary introduction, maybe for us to get familiar with this kind of offering and comfortable with it. And now we're aligning definitely towards a pathway to peace, and I think that's really important, and it's part of what's been asked for humanity now. There's definitely a fork in the road opening up, and that doesn't mean to say you bury your head in the sand and don't look at things. It's important to be aware, but not to align to things that don't align with the truth of who you are. And we're definitely aligned with peace. We want more peace, we enjoy peace, we live in a peaceful place, we're creating a peaceful life. And that's showing up in our outside world. So yeah, the format's going to change next week. We've kind of got an idea of what that is. We've committed to saying it now, so we have to change it next week. So there's quite a bit of pressure there. But anyway, we will do it, and we'll see where it goes. But I hope you can join us and see what shows up. So the DC begin with, they come as a reminder that free will is very activated within you. Yet this is also a conundrum, if you like, as your guides are always trying to assist you to follow the highest path for you. So free will is activated within us suggests they consider it as an aspect or a quality of the human experience. It's in our DNA. It's one of the reasons we're here, and it's for us to use or not use. We have the free will to use it or not use it, and they're just reaffirming that free will is encoded within us, and nobody is allowed to interfere with it. And they use the word conundrum. So I looked that up as well. A difficult problem or dilemma to solve is the primary explanation for it. So what's the dilemma and what's the problem to solve? So I pondered this myself. These are just my thoughts and feelings, and I think the main one is, do we choose free will or not? And in this case, I think, in this context of what this channeling is about, is, are you choosing to offer the guidance that would be a pathway to peace, or are you choosing to surrender to your patterned experience? And that's your choice. And what a conundrum that is. It's like that the deep within us, we know that the guidance is taking us to a more peaceful timeline. But we gravitate so much towards these dramas. We're almost like addicted to them. And so, I mean, which one of those is free will? I think, we like to make things more complex and difficult than they actually are. And my interpretation, my feeling is that we're always being guided at any given time. And that guidance is always leaning into the highest timeline. But the help from the non-physical realm, they have to honour our free will. And they'll keep tapping away, nudging, little nudges and guidance that help us on our journey that we can choose to accept or ignore. But they are, the free will from their perspective is always allowing them to guide us towards our highest timeline. That's the universal law, but they can't force us down that road. So then you've got to look at why do we ignore those things? So often the way we think about free will isn't actually how it perhaps works. Imagine, if you like, that you have 5 timelines that you could choose from, all in one way or another come close to you becoming the highest version of yourself. Yet 4 could be viewed as keeping you stuck within the confines of the beliefs and patterns that you are trying to break free from. The other sees you releasing yourself from them. Every day is an opportunity to break yourself free, and you will constantly be being offered ways to do this. So I thought of another conundrum here, that because it suggests that every timeline is leading you towards, I guess, finding out, remembering who you are and becoming the true you. So making second, third or fourth choices, you actually learn more about yourself through the contrast, through the challenges. And I said yes, probably the answer is yes to that. That's certainly a pathway that some people choose. I mean, the good news is we're all going to get there in the end. But if you choose the highest timeline, the path of ease and grace, then there's going to be a peaceful path. And I think that's where we've arrived at a human species, that in the past we've had to always take the choices of contrast to learn much more about ourselves. But we know enough about ourselves now. There's not a lot more we can know about the horrors of humanity, about the beauty of humanity. And so we're being led now to, encouraged and really shown the highest timeline, so we can enjoy the journey home. It's almost like you're in the last furlong of a very long race. So you see, there isn't really a wrong way for your free will to work for you, only that you will be letting yourself down from stepping into the highest timeline possible. And that's what we'd like to help you to do, to becoming the best version of you, cultivating a life of peaceful yet joyful situations for you, peace within to create peace without. So, some insights here into what's coming next. There's a strong movement towards peace, and there's assistance to help cultivate peace within us. So this process of identifying patterns, of releasing patterns, of questioning your thoughts, your beliefs, all of this creates space, and it allows peace to arrive, and basically getting to know yourself in a much more profound way. So the DC, it's being a way shower of how life can be, overcoming your obstacles to becoming a beacon of light for others, some in big bold ways and others in a much more sublime, discreet way. Whether in the forefront or behind the scenes, mission inner peace is an important one. For one to become dedicated to the pursuit of inner peace is a mighty purpose indeed. So for me here, the DC are pretty much inviting everyone to be a participant, as a leader, as a way shower, as they call them. It's not just left to the mystics and the recent sort of authors and teachers online, and they're saying that we're all involved in this, and the way we do it is by creating a state of inner peace. And you can be in a pub or a restaurant or a bus station or anywhere where, if you're resonating at that frequency of peace, everyone's going to feel it, whether they know you or not. It's going to trigger something in them. It's going to spark a conversation. It's going to spark a questioning, an inner questioning. So I looked up Wayshower as well. It's defined as a spiritual guide, leader or role model for everyone who sees or experiences them. It's actually in the dictionary. And so, it's not in the dictionary for no reason. It's in there because it's a fact. That's what happens. That's what a way shower is. So you can be a way shower at home with your family. They may not appreciate it all the time, but you stay your course. That's the most difficult place to maintain the inner peace is at home, with the wonderful triggers that come your way. But good luck to you on that one. Family units, friends, social groups, work, basically anywhere. And like I say, it will activate questioning as a minimum. The more and more you sort of generate this peaceful frequency vibration, the more and more obvious it becomes, and people want to know what you're doing in your life, what's changed. Have you changed jobs, have you changed relationship, have if you won the lottery or whatever, they want to know what's going on. And you can answer confidently saying, no, I've been cultivating inner peace, and then watch them walk away. Only joking.
So I just thought it's like the opposite of how to win friends and influence.
Yes. Yet to the ego it feels thankless as we look less and less to drama and more to an inner state of balance. Any form of external drama fuels the mind's hold over your inner state as you attempt to move from chaos into calm. So the ego, the identification, personality, is feeling the pressure of change. It's worried and concerned because its whole modus operandum is based on what it knows in history, and it's been taken into a realm where that doesn't exist. It has no knowledge of the future. It has no knowledge of your higher, wiser self. It only knows your personality, which is its personality, which is based on pattern life experience, and in some cases previous life experiences, but you'll have to switch channels for that conversation. So it needs evidence in order to, I guess, sustain itself in some way. So if it's observing, if it's experiencing inner peace, it will then have that in its locker. It will then be history. It will then be known by your ego mind as a state, and it will become more and more comfortable with it, and eventually it will just give up and surrender to a state of inner peace because it knows it. It will become familiar. So if you're experiencing dramas in your life, they're showing up for a reason. You're identifying with your ego, and it's important for you to really recognize that, to address the thoughts that have come up. You couldn't stop them coming up because it's like a bubbling pool. They just emerge, they get triggered, and you can be in other people's fields of energy and they just show up, or you can be watching the news or whatever. Things come up. But if you don't agree with them and you don't like them, and you say, no, I don't accept this as me, and you ask your higher self for that to be cleared out your system, and for that not to, I guess, pollute your life experience going forward, that you'd rather cultivate peace than the story that your ego mind was throwing into the mix. Yet interestingly, sometimes situations that at first you feel are so chaotic to your mind, events that have unfolded in your life that caught you by surprise and felt very chaotic, can ultimately bring you to a state of inner calm. A conundrum perhaps, but nevertheless true. So another conundrum here. I think the DC are referring here to times when we've basically run out of ideas about how to resolve something that's very challenging. And we have no choice but to surrender. And there's literally nothing left for us to do. But then somehow things change. And you're left wondering how on earth that happened. And it's almost like it never existed. And maybe that was the highest timeline that you were being led down. You were being forced down a path to surrender. It sounds very simplistic, but I think that's a lot of the time what we're being asked to do. Surrender into, I don't know, my personality mind doesn't have the answer to this and never will have. It'll just keep creating more dramas, so I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to sit, I'm going to surrender, put my hands up, ask for guidance, and have full confidence and faith that the guidance will come in some form or other. And they say, we encourage you to try not to judge any situation as right or wrong, good or bad. We know this is very hard for the mind to do. I think it's okay to acknowledge honest, true feelings and emotions when we witness things or when we face things. We can't deny them. They are truth, based on your belief systems, based on your life experience and principles, and you need to honour those feelings, and that's okay. But I think the key the gold in it is to not judge those situations that come at you, those people, places or things, because they're there by design. They're there for our awakening. They're there for us to heal, to correct. And if we don't see them, how are we ever going to change them? They'll just be sat lurking in the shadows like they have done for thousands and thousands of years. And it feels chaotic at the moment because they're all coming up to be seen. So in one sense we should praise them and give gratitude and thanks for them because they're showing themselves. We can now deal with it. And so they say, yet from the soul's perspective is a revolutionary way of looking at life through a completely different lens. So it's revolutionary from a soul perspective because they're coming in with new ideas. They're leading us down a pathway to peace. They're showing us new possibilities, a new way of thinking. And it's revolutionary for the ego mind as well because it's being asked to follow that, to have blind faith in that. So there's revolution everywhere from both sides of the fence. Somehow we need to nurture the ego through this situation, through this change process. It's a complete departure from where we've come from, and it's being asked to just blindly believe in something brand new that it knows nothing about. That's a very difficult thing to do, a big ask. And so be kind to yourself. But trust that inner knowing, that inner feeling that change is required, that change is possible, that change comes from inside you, and it begins by developing a peaceful state. Some of the most chaotic situations you found in yourselves have ultimately brought you the most inner calm. On the other side of them, feel into this for a moment. So we've all experienced to some degree or other the fact that you're reading this and watching this means you've survived at least one of them. Or else you wouldn't be here listening to it. Certainly every adult anyway. And so what they're asking, the DC are asking us to do is to take some moments, and you can make it a meditation, is to feel into that time just after some serious situation somehow resolved itself. Some magic happened or intervention came in and just resolved the situation without you having actually done anything about it. They want you to feel that energy, to know that that can apply in future situations. It's a formula. It's written and coded into your DNA that these things happen. And if we can feel it, we can embody it, and then the universe will respond to that vibration. And the desire and goal has to be for peace, for all chaotic situations to come to resolution in the highest timeline. Your greatest transformation, your greatest times of inner alchemy have actually occurred in times of your greatest chaos, where your mind couldn't fathom how the outcome would turn out for you, where life perhaps seemed insurmountable. And then as time went on and you healed from the pain and came through the heartache, if you like, something shifted and a new dawn. And a new day was dawned, if you like. So the thing that caught my attention in this paragraph was the DC referred to heartache. And there's adding in another dimension of experience. Another inclusion in the context of intolerable experiences. So the heart is referred to in so many different ways, sometimes negative, sometimes positive. It's a multi-dimensional facet. From the challenging perspective, it's referred to in the terms of heartbreak, heartache, even heart attack, heart protected. So it's clearly the battering ram for all things difficult on an emotional level. But equally it's balanced on the other side from a loving perspective on the emotional level. Open-hearted, warm-hearted, heartfelt love, etc. All of those, those wonderful sayings that you say to each other, people that you love, even people that you just have good feelings about when they want them to get well or something, you send heartfelt feelings towards them. From a spiritual perspective, the heart is also considered as a portal and it's the opening through which the soul light comes through which the guidance comes through, through which your higher self can inform you, can move in and out. And the more and more that portal is open, the more the soul light can come through and take up residence in your physical vehicle. So maybe the formula here is that heartbreak actually causes an opening in your heart that for the light to come through. Just a thought. But I also think the heart can open equally through generating peace. So it's much better to do it that way. If you stayed feeling a victim and not able to transcend what occurred for you, the gold would not be able to occur for you. For you would be locked into the why did this happen to me? So if you repeat this phrase, why did this happen to me? And just sit with it. And just notice what it feels like. It doesn't feel very good. It feels tight, congested, a bit icky, and dare I say it, it feels weak. That's what it feels like to me. And now say, I wonder why I needed to experience this very challenging situation. How does that feel? I wonder is an open, expansive, curious word or statement, question. It's open, it's expansive, it's encouraging more questions. It's not restrictive, it's inviting something else. The least it's going to invite is more questions. Why did I? What opportunities come and challenges? What opportunities come through these challenges? So it's the way you're perceiving a situation now, to change it towards expansion rather than contraction. So you can expand with further questioning, taking you to that place of show me my highest timeline, show me the way out of this, which is my highest timeline, and show me what this meant for me. That's probably the highest you can get to in any situation. You've learnt, you've moved on. It doesn't get better than that. And you've created expansion in your being, and you've learnt, you've generated wisdom. You can't be unknown anymore. Yet true inner alchemy says, I may not understand why something happened like it did, yet I know deep within me that I have shifted as a result of it, and for that I am grateful. I know that I am now closer to the true me, and that's where your free will lies, how you respond to everything in your life. So the DC have added in gratitude. That's another high vibrational energy. And if you put gratitude into the field, another high vibrational energy will be met by the universe. So the more of these positive vibrations that you can connect with, saying being in a state of gratitude for an awful situation takes a lot, but it generates a lot equally. But in order to be grateful, you'd need to know why and what came of it, what was necessary, and to that you need to look at your patterns and to know that they can change through the fact that you've had enough of them, and that's how change is sustained. So clean up your thoughts, clean up your actions, clean up your deeds, keep asking for help with this, give no permission for any of the old energy to go forward into the new energy, and you'll make space for inner peace. And then things will just change, because that's what peace creates. So they close with keep choosing you, keep choosing what you know in your heart is best for you. And as we love to encourage you, keep choosing the highest timeline possible to you, that of internal experience of peace within you. Nothing more to say than that. And it's all wrapped up in that last phrase. So yeah, good luck with that. Thank you for listening to the previous 19 World Affairs Truth Reports. This is the last one until next week's new offering. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Helen, for all your wonderful channelings.
Thank you to you for your wonderful wisdom and insights into those challenging things.
Yeah, so by the way, we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Sending lots of love and blessings.